All right, welcome to Husker Storm blog. Talk about my thoughts on the national championship and what changes should be brought to the BCS. So Alabama, LSU rematch. There's two different sides to the story, and I see both of them clearly. I mean, Oklahoma State, I believe they deserve their shot. They may not have been the second best team in the country, but Alabama doesn't deserve a second chance to beat LSU. Why does LSU have to beat a team twice? They lose this game, and if Bama wins the national championship, does Bama deserve it? Yeah, they won the national championship, but no, I don't think so. I think Oklahoma State could have competed. LSU would have been a really fun game, high scoring for sure. I think Oklahoma State would have been able to put up 30 points on LSU. And maybe create some turnovers and create some plays. But as it is, they don't get their chance. They get to go play Stanford, in which they're going to smash them. But my whole issue with this is some of these idiots on YouTube, like S whatever tied, S3 tied or whatever. Yeah, I posted this video as a reply to yours. I know you're an Alabama fan, but really, do you really think that Nick Saban's whole voting was, wasn't stupid and flawed and just pissed me off? Because does he really think Stanford is better than Oklahoma State? Hell no. Hell no. Come on. He's an idiot. I mean, the polls are about as bad as the computers. When you let coaches vote, that is completely biased. You have to eliminate that. Now, do I believe there could be a coaches poll? Yeah, but I don't think that should affect who plays in the national championship. It shouldn't at all. No effect on it, because those are completely biased. Here's another example. There's some Mid-Tennessee State idiot, that coach of Mid-Tennessee State, whatever his name is. Nebraska wasn't in his top 25, but Louisiana Tech at 8-4 and 10-2 Arkansas State were. He is the example of a dumbass. These polls are completely flawed. The Harris poll, I think it was 2 voters or so. They had Oklahoma State 6th. What the? Who the hell is in front of them? A 2-loss team? A 2-loss Arkansas team's ahead of Oklahoma State because Stanford got their booty whooped by Oregon at home. Oklahoma State goes on the road, tough circumstances. You can't lose that game. You can't lose it. You can't lose that game. I mean, if it would have been between Alabama, who lost to the number 3 team in the country, and Oklahoma State, who lost to the 6-6 team, Alabama would deserve to go. But Alabama already lost to LSU, so I think Oklahoma State deserves a shot. But whatever, that means Stanford should deserve the shot too. But that's why there should be a +1. But I mean, 6th, you got Boise State in front of them, Stanford in front of them, and what? Arkansas. Arkansas. Yeah, 2-loss Arkansas team that got raped by LSU and Alabama. And most of their games were highly contested against, Vanderbilt and Ole Miss and a 95-yard fumble return for a touchdown. Really, that's what they needed to win that game. And a missed field goal. Yeah, Arkansas. You SEC bastards. Get your head out of your butt. They got to eliminate these freaking human polls. They're what is the Harris is like legends, like former football players and sports writers, I think, and former coaches and stuff. Former crap and stupid crap, biased idiots. It doesn't belong. I'm sorry. And that's part of my rant right now. I'm going to go on again and talk about BCS selections. So the whole national championship and how it's selected between, the computers are flawed. If you look at the computers, Texas, I don't think they're ranked higher than Wisconsin anymore. But going into the last week, a 4-loss Texas was ranked higher than a 2-loss Wisconsin. Yeah. Definitely. That seems right. Yeah. Give me a break. Really? Who did Texas beat? UCLA. Oh, UCLA. That's right. And Wisconsin didn't beat Nebraska. Yeah, Nebraska's not better than UCLA. Oh, we'll see in Pasadena next year. All right, but computers are flawed. I think the computers are better than the pollsters. The pollsters are a bunch of idiots, biased, completely biased. So here's my proposal to you, the BCS guys. The BCS. Whenever you're thinking of changing stuff, here's what I think should happen. Get rid of the BCS tie-ins. All right. I want you to have, the typical Orange Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Fiesta, and Rose. Then you got to add the Cotton Bowl. Get that bowl in Texas. Add that. Maybe the Capital One Bowl. I don't think so because you already got a bowl in Florida. Then you add another bowl in Florida. Add that bowl in Texas. It's another great revenue. I mean, it's another great not revenue. Obviously you're gonna get some money from that. It's another great Jerry Jones World's a great place to play. Venue. It's a great venue, and it's gonna make you money. That's gonna make you money right there, not not this crap. Yeah. So that right there. So get rid of BCS tie-ins. Now, that doesn't mean if Wisconsin wins the if the Big Ten champion and the Pac-12 champion shouldn't play in the Rose Bowl. Yes, they should play in the Rose Bowl. I think that should happen as long as they meet certain criteria. If it's a team that if let's say it should be if I don't know exactly. They just got to get rid of some of the tie-ins. You know what like the Big East. They don't deserve a freaking BCS bowl. Serious? Come on, we had like a freaking 8-4 UConn team last year. We saw what happened in that bowl game. I don't think they scored an offensive touchdown. Now we get West Virginia this year. It's going to be more competitive, but come on. The Big East had their one little fluke with West Virginia a few years ago against an unprepared OU team. And, it's not going to happen again. We saw what Cincinnati got against Florida. And this year, it's going to be within 10 points, I think. But still, the Big East doesn't deserve their little 3-loss pussies to go playing in bowl games where teams with 2 losses from other conferences should be able to play. The whole main idea of getting rid of these tie-ins is allowing conferences to have another at-large. So if you add that Cotton Bowl, that's 6. That's a possible 12 teams, not including the national championship. So that's 14 teams playing in BCS bowls. And that means Arkansas and Kansas State would be playing in a BCS bowl right now. That's pretty much a BCS bowl, but if it's labeled as a BCS bowl, it's the teams are going to get more money and the tickets are going to be more expensive or whatever. But you got to get rid of these tie-ins, and what I mean by tie-ins is, if a certain team doesn't meet. I don't know what the requirements should be. If there's a team now ranked in the top 25, they don't deserve to go. The whole way they select these teams needs to be changed. I think there should be a committee. The committee decides who plays in the BCS bowl games and the other bowl games. Now, the bowl games are still going to get their opportunities to pick. Okay, they're going to have their top teams that they want to select and blah, blah, blah. But the BCS is going to put together the committee is going to put together the most fair, competitive, and, money making. It's got to be those 3 things. It can't be money making first and competitive. It's money making first and competitive right now is second. Fair is not even in there because you got Virginia Tech playing in a BCS bowl game. And they're struggling to sell tickets, which I think is amazing. It's just hilarious. Hilarious. So it's got to be fair, competitive, and of course it's got to make money. But if you do this, the bowl games they're still going to be their typical tie-ins, I guess you'd say. The Big Ten champion is ranked in the top 25, or Pac-12 champions ranked in the top 25. They play each other in the Rose Bowl as long as they're not playing the national championship. That's the only one that really needs to stay the same. The Big 12, they don't have anywhere. I mean, they go to the Fiesta Bowl, but they don't play anybody special. They play an at-large team that usually sucks. Or the Sugar Bowl, the SEC doesn't play anybody special. The Orange Bowl, that's nothing special. The ACC, who gives a crap? And if conferences aren't deserving of a BCS Bowl, if you win your championship, then you don't go to a bowl game. I mean, you don't go to the BCS into a BCS game like West Virginia. They didn't deserve to go to a BCS game. At 9-3, you don't deserve to. I'm sorry. Who else? I mean, and all conferences need to have a conference championship. In order to get a BCS bid, the conference has to have 12 teams. That needs to be it right there. Let the bowl whatever committees of their bowl games, they give their input of who they want as their top teams, and the committee, the BCS committee, decides what they think is going to be fair, competitive, and money-making. And then the main thing I want to see is a +1. Most of the time, there's only really 4 teams that are deserving to play in the national championship. I mean, most of the time it's only 2. Sometimes, like this year, there's 4 teams that are deserving. I hate to say it, but Stanford is just as deserving as Oklahoma State. Even though they beat nobody, they still have 1 loss. But then again, if that's true, then I guess Boise State's just as deserving as Stanford. Because Stanford beat, who they beat? Notre Dame and USC, guys. USC. Notre Dame and USC. Boise State beat Georgia. That's a good team. And Air Force. And they lost to TCU, though. But, you get that 4th thing there. Yeah, LSU, Stanford. I think LSU beats the crap out of Stanford, but, that's Oklahoma State, Alabama. That's going to be an interesting game. That's interesting for sure. And whoever wins that game, they play in the national championship versus LSU, I would believe it would end up being. That's how you do it. That's going to make you the most money. You got that +1. They play in a BCS bowl game there, though. Okay? So that does take up a BCS bowl game, and then there's the national championship the following week. It works out perfect, if you ask me. They play on a Monday night, and then they come back and play on a Monday night the next week. It's absolutely perfect. That's how you do it. That's how you make money. And it allows for more teams to play in BCS games. And, you're going to have that Cotton Bowl. You can put a matchup there in the Cotton Bowl. Maybe you put the Big 12 champion versus the SEC champion in the Cotton Bowl. And maybe once the Big East gets halfway decent, or once they become like the big United States conference, with every single team from all around the conference, and they get some good teams and they actually produce it, you can put the ACC versus the Big East in the Orange Bowl, in the Sugar Bowl, and the Fiesta Bowl, or at-large teams. Get creative with this. There's a lot of things you can do, and you don't even have to have these tie-ins. Now, the Big Ten and the Pac-12's got to stay. I think it's got to stay. That's the biggest right there, and it's the most traditional. And none of these other ones are that traditional, but they're definitely just create a fair, competitive, and money-making system. And that's what you got to do. And it's got to be fair, first of all. It's not fair that Virginia Tech gets a play in a BCS game. It's not fair that West Virginia gets a play in a BCS game. It's not fair that Arkansas got snubbed. It's not fair that Kansas State got snubbed. It's not fair that Boise State got snubbed. It's not fair that even Baylor got snubbed, which I think they are just as deserving as Virginia Tech. I mean, it's kind of a lame process, but right now, and if you change it too much, that's my idea. I mean, tell me what you think, and if you have any questions, ask me. But I think Oklahoma State should have had their chance against LSU. That's my main point of this video. And Nick Saban, I like him as a coach. He's a good coach, great recruiter. Didn't have any success in the NFL, but he did at the college level. But the way he went around this thing is just bull crap. But whatever. He's going to play LSU, and hopefully the best team wins, which I think is LSU. But I think Alabama wins. But if Alabama wins, they're national champion. Even though LSU already beat them. Whatever. That's it. Thanks for watching.